So we really love chaffles on this channel, as you all know. And in fact, most of you probably discovered us because of our chaffle recipe, which is new and improved for 2021. But we cannot leave perfect alone. We enjoy experimenting on this channel, and a lot of you have suggested to us that we should put Lupin flour into our chaffles. And so taking all of your suggestions, Sarah has been experimenting with Lupin flour over the past couple weeks, and now we're gonna try to make Lupin flour chaffles and compare them to our original chaffles and see which one is better, because I have not tried them yet. And if you don't know what a chaffle is, you are missing out, because a chaffle is a cheese waffle. And I would say that it is one of the most important discoveries of this century. In terms of keto, I mean, before we didn't have anything like this. To the person out there that discovered chaffles, we're not saying that we discovered it. We only tweaked the recipe to suit our own taste. Thank you for your service. We appreciate you. Chaffles are great because they're pretty neutral tasting. The main ingredient is mozzarella cheese, which is pretty neutral, and so you can add all types of herbs and spices. You can even put sweetener in them and make like a sweet cakey chaffle. We've used them as bagels, we use them as sandwiches. Some people use them for stuffing and for Thanksgiving. Chaffles are the perfect bread replacement. So some of you might be wondering, I already love chaffles the way that they are. Why do we have to keep on improving them? Well, our chaffles have about 2.5 net carbs apiece, and we want to try to lower the carb count just a little bit. If you use Lupin flour to replace almond flour, Lupin flour has very little net carbs. It has about 1 net carb per 1/4 cup. You're gonna be bringing down the net carbs significantly if you use Lupin flour. The other part of the carbs comes from using pre-shredded mozzarella. If you are really trying to cut down the carbs and you eat a lot of chaffles, if you shred your own mozzarella, you won't be getting the additives that are put into the shredded mozzarella to keep them from sticking. So that's another way to reduce your carbs from chaffles. Lupin flour is made from a plant that is categorized as a legume, which is also kind of like a peanut. So some people may be sensitive to Lupin flour. You're going to have to find out for yourself. Lupin flour has a lot less calories too than almond flour. 1/4 cup of Lupin flour has about 74 calories, and 1/4 cup almond flour has about 170 calories. So you can save on the calories there by using Lupin flour. I know that we seem kind of lazy and dirty, meaning that we don't track our calories on this way of life, but it was a lot easier for us to lose weight in the beginning. But now that you're like in the 160s and you're technically a normal weight, you have to eat considerably less. So if you're eating a bunch of chaffles, you can save some calories by using a flour that's less calorically dense. So our chaffle recipe, as you all know and heard it, I will just say it for the new people here, is very simple. It's 1 cup of low moisture mozzarella that's lightly packed. Some people ask this if we like stuff it in there. It's just lightly packed and poured into the bowl gracefully. 1/2 teaspoon of xanthan gum, 2 tablespoons of almond flour, and 1 egg's worth of egg white, which is about 2 to 2.5 tablespoons of egg whites. You don't want it to be very wet. You want it to be slightly moist. I know people don't.
No.
Do you get triggered by that word?
I don't care, but I know people hate that word.
Okay, damp. I don't think damp is better, but okay. So the method is pretty simple. You're gonna take your almond flour and your xanthan gum and you're gonna sprinkle on that first, and then you're gonna kind of work it in, because xanthan gum, once it gets wet, it turns into a blob. So make sure all those xanthan gum particles are evenly distributed before you add your liquid into any recipe, including chaffles. So here we go. It's ready to go into our chaffle maker. Our chaffle maker has been preheating for like 10 minutes. This is the other thing that you guys tend to miss, and so your chaffles end up being a mess. You have to let your chaffle maker, your Dash Mini waffle maker, get screaming hot before you start making chaffles in it. So we plugged this in like 10 minutes ago, and it's been sitting there. And so now we're ready to start making chaffles. This is the original recipe. Sarah's gonna be doing the new one, and then we're going to give it a taste test. And I'm really hungry, so I hope it turns out good. This is our trusty 1/8 cup measuring cup, food cup. A lot of you are asking where we got this. This came part of a set, so it's like you're gonna be buying a $10 set on Amazon. We can link it below, but honestly, this is the size of 2 tablespoons. 1/8 cup equals 2 tablespoons. Someone in the comments actually told us about that. So let's go make them. So having a good recipe is one thing, but you also need to have a little bit of technique. And that's where our chaffle tends to differ from a lot of other chaffles. We like our chaffles thin, and that's our technique. It's okay if the chaffle holes or whatever, grates, you can see them through it. You wanna spread it nice and thin, and it's gonna just form a really great thin chaffle if you do that, which is gonna make it nice and crispy. And remember that this is definitely enough. You don't need to fill every crevice. It's going to melt and it's gonna fill all those crevices. So don't worry about it too much. Just make sure you evenly spread it and close it, and make sure there's contact between the top and the bottom plate so you get a nice crispy chaffle. Here is the pretty side. So I just finished making our new and improved chaffle recipe. And remember you guys, we're gonna leave a link to all of the products and everything in the description below. And we're gonna leave a link to the recipes on our website, ketotwins.com. Please check it out. Shameless plug. And now Sarah is going to be making the new chaffle and talking a little bit about Lupin flour. So if you guys don't know already, we do have a Facebook group, Keto with the Keto Twins, and we will leave a link to that group in the description below. You guys should definitely join because we talk about all things, including chaffles, in that group. And one of our members, Danielle, actually made a post stating that she had made the Lupin flour chaffle that we were going to actually make today. And that's a funny coincidence because, you know, we're all trying new things with all of these new ingredients. So thanks to Danielle for making a post about it. And in her recipe, she uses 1 tablespoon of Lupin flour. And with my experiments, I agree that's about the same that I'm going to be using today because Lupin flour is more absorbent than almond flour. So you're going to have to use about half the amount. Of course, there are a bunch of different alterations that you can do to your recipe, but we're gonna try to keep it simple. The goal of this video is to replace the almond flour with the Lupin flour to see if we can get that really crispy consistency and also scale back on the calories and the carbs. Okay guys, so we're gonna start making these chaffles. We have to name it. What do you name it? Lupin chaffle.
Apple? I don't know.
Okay, we're gonna get started with making these Lupin chaffles. It's pretty much the same exact recipe, but you're going to replace the almond flour with 1 tablespoon of Lupin flour. All of our chaffles are ready. We're gonna go sit down and do a taste test. Okay, so here we have the 2 different types of chaffles, one with the Lupin flour, and this one is the original with almond flour. Honestly, they look very similar. The only way that we can really tell the difference between the 2 is if we lift it up. This one, I'm not sure if it's even gonna look like that on camera, but it's a little bit more yellow in real life than the original recipe because Lupin flour is yellow. So how do they smell? Maybe I'll give you one and you give me one. Okay, so let's smell is that the Lupin? Okay, let's do the original. No. I know how the original
Right,
smells.
that's true. Okay.
I don't think I have a good sense of smell or something.
No, they smell very similar to me too as
so
well.
let's try our original.
Original.
It's a classic for a reason.
Very good. Neutral tasting. Can go any way with it. You want to go sweet, you want to go savory. Use it as a bagel, use it as a muffin, use it as bread, burgers.
Good. It's like you're surprised.
I am. I haven't had one in a minute.
Like a day?
Yeah.
Let's try the other one. Oh.
Was it crunchier?
Yes.
Seemed like it. So the new Lupin version definitely is crunchier and crispier. Some people said they don't like crispy chaffles. I don't know those people. I don't relate to them. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the texture of this one. And I think it tastes very similar to our original recipe.
We're gonna put up the nutritional information of our original chaffle recipe and the Lupin chaffle recipe, and you can see for yourself. Is it worth it to replace almond flour with Lupin flour, in your opinion? Will you be doing that from now on?
I will definitely be switching out the almond flour for the Lupin flour just to save on the carbs and the calories. I think it's worth it for me. How about you?
I don't actually own Lupin flour, and this is the first time I've tried it, but I probably will be buying a bag. I've heard that Lupin flour is also good in other recipes too, like other bread recipes. So I'll be interested in trying it out. If you guys have any Lupin flour recipes that you want us to try, why don't you leave it in the comment section or tell us what you use it for. Because honestly, it's new to us. Like, we've heard about it. There's just so many different types of products, you know? And it's just like, oh, have you tried Lupin flour? Or have you tried mushroom flour? I don't know if that is a thing, but you can't try everything. And our recipe was good enough for a long time for us, you know? But since we are eating a lot of chaffles, this can definitely save on some calories and some carbs. And if you would like to see a chaffle video where we use a chaffle instead of an English muffin to make an Eggs Benedict, you can click on the video on the screen and we'll see you over there. Anyway, I'm Emily.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are the Keto Twins, signing out.
We didn't even plan that, we just know.